Hi there, welcome to Operance, the world's first purpose-built golden thread O&M platform. We've been working with some of the UK's most respected housing associations, local authorities and building safety experts to help design and build an evolving solution to the new Building Safety and Fire Safety Acts. What we've created is a simple step-by-step guide to define, curate, access and maintain the information you need in order to comply with the new legislation. So let's dive right in and show you around. I'm going to share my screen. And up I pop. So as you can see, the new Building Safety module sits alongside our Digital O&M module. With the Building Safety module, as we can see here as an example, is a block within a phase. It's a new building that now needs to register as it's a high-risk building. As you'll see within the Building Safety module, we have different features now that you'll start seeing represent the requirements of the Building Safety Bill. We're going to start first with the HRB registration. We feel that's the most important requirement for customers. This is the one that's time boxed for a start. So from April 2023, not long ago now, that means you have to start registering your buildings to the new Building Safety Regulator. In order to do that, you've then got until October 2023 to register all your buildings. If you're unable to provide all the information and register your buildings, you are then breaking the law come October. So it's really important that customers start building their information now so that come out April the 1st, they can actually start pulling that information together. So we've made it super simple for people. So as you'll see, HRB registration, we've split the requirements from your responses. The requirements here are what we have read from the law, and we understand this is the information that is required in order to register your buildings. Now, we speak to a lot of different housing associations, authorities, general owners of high-risk buildings. There can be a lot of confusion as to what information is actually needed for HRB registration. In essence, it's quite simple. It's the building name, its address, anything associating with it, with phases, any related buildings, the year of completion, the exact year of completion. If that isn't known, you can state an age brand, the number of stories, the building heights, the total number of residential units. And with that information, of course, if it is 18 meters high or 7 stories, whichever comes first, and has at least 2 residential units, then it is, of course, a higher risk building status. So that works that out for you. And then sliding down from there, what we need to provide then is information about the people responsible for that building. So the principal accountable persons could be the organisation. It could be any entity, organisation or a person. The accountable person's address and the contact numbers. You can also then state the nominated individual acting as the single point of contact. So that person's details would be added in and their role as well. Then we put the registration status. So obviously this is in development, so we would pick that. If it had been submitted, you simply say it's been submitted, and that again will automatically provide that status itself. Once the registration has been accepted and come back, you will be provided with a registration code from the Building Safety Regulator, and that's where this will be stored as well, along with any of the documentation you get from the BSR. So, but once that information has been provided, it's quite simple. It's no more than 18 to 20 data fields. That information, then you sign it off by declaring that as the information you've provided is truthful and honest as far as you are aware. And then you can export that information, or one of the things we are looking at now is actually submitting this information direct with the building safety regulator themselves. Speed things up even further. That's it. HRB registration in a nutshell. Now, if we go on to the building safety case, this is where people get confused between how much information is required to register their buildings and then to build their safety case for years going forwards. The building safety case is split up into various different areas. The basic building information, building construction information, refurbishment, fire safety, structural safety, residence profile, information about the services and utilities, and maintenance and inspections. There's quite a lot more information to come through this. And again, I must say, this is the information that we know is relevant as of today. It is a moving feast in terms of legislation. We're expecting second legislation to come at any time. With that, will quite possibly be more changes, but at least we've got a good understanding now, having worked in different working groups and liaised with many different experts about the information that is required as we know it today. So for instance, let's give you a quick tour of how this information is developed. So up here, first, we have the progress bars. The progress bars tell you how much information is being provided at any time. So firstly, for the individual sections down here, but then overall, collectively, for the building safety case. So as an example, we've already got in the building name and the site name. Now we want to put in the site address. So if we put this in, we plug in the address from the module and it drops in. Now we need to choose the year of the building completion. We drop in the year and straight away that finds us our relevant design code or building regulations. From the building status, we state whether it's a new building or a legacy building. Now that's not strictly speaking required by the law, but what we wanted to do was create as many automations in order to keep the process as simple as possible. So for instance, further down in the table, it's asking for information relating to completion certificates, planning permissions, building regulation certificates, that type of thing. But it's also asking for subsequent planning permissions and building regulation certificates. So for instance, if your building is of a certain age and it's been renovated or extended so many times over time, then it's going to need that further information. But we can say whether that's applicable or not. So for instance, if this is a new building, straight away, those toggle switches turn off. The information is not required, so we can move on. If then we then go to our original planning permission, what we can do here is simply drag and drop a PDF. So we pick up our PDF, we drop it in there. As you can see, straight away, the information is building all the time. Now, if we want to actually review that information, we can click on that and that will open up in the browser. We can then go ahead and drop some more information in, and again, the progress shows that it's moving along all the time. So that's basically how easy it is to provide the information. It's really simple, step by step. Let's give you a quick overview of other information that is required. So from a building construction perspective, key structural systems, key construction materials, things like that are also required. Now, it may be that this information is not actually accessible to you or is not available. A building that's maybe 40 years old, for instance, may not actually have the evidence you need in order to find out, for instance, the primary load bearing system. So you not only need descriptions of that, you can drop in some documents of that as well. If you have none, it may be that you need to then hire building surveyors, for instance, to then go find that information. It may be that you've got information and you've got it in paper format. Well, that's fine. So with our partners, Ryder Levitt Bucknell and their building surveyors, they can actually go out and help find that information through your buildings. And our other partner, Spectrum, they can actually scan pieces of paper, turn them into PDFs, and then start pulling information from there and actually classify them to Uniclass standards in order to move that information into Operance seamlessly and actually store the information against what it's relevant to. So we simply go through that list and start adding information. Now, if you are using third-party surveyors to do that part of the information, then they can access this platform and they can be adding information at the same time as your team as well. Everybody can be working in this one single source of truth at the same time. So other information, for instance, fire safety is obviously a key element. So we can drop in the fire safety specifications, strategies, we can develop the risk assessments, we can start pulling together designs, specifications, schematics, that type of thing. We can look at emergency lighting. Again, these are all from the law as we currently know it. All the items that are listed out that you need to provide in order to develop your building safety case. Fire alarms, fire stopping, etc. All that information gets dropped in and the building safety case is developing all the time. Now, in order to review that information, we then click in the safety case report. Now, this is still very much in design, so please take this with a pinch of salt. But the safety case report itself is in effect two parts. One is a summary of all the information you've pulled together through your building safety case. So we're providing this nice dashboard to explain exactly where those gaps are and how far along you are to providing your building safety case. It's also the building description again. So a lot of this information you've just seen across in the HRB registration and the building safety case as well. Again, building names, address, year of completion, so on and so forth. But fear not, all that information simply duplicates and moves across automatically. So as soon as you add in the building name, that adds everywhere. So you're not having to develop information more than once. It also provides requests the relevant information about the responsible persons on your projects. So yes, the accountable persons, the duty holders, the nominated individuals, and what are their competencies as well. So providing proof of their experience, shall we say. It's also the second part of the safety case report is to be able to provide information about your risk assessment and your safety management systems. That's not just providing a risk assessment, it's about providing narrative on how you will manage your risk assessments and information about your safety management system. The safety management system is the overall process to providing this information and keeping it up to date, and the tools you will need in order to do that, such as a golden thread platform, such as Operance, for instance. Now, coming back to Operance, we've also shown in other demos, as you may have seen already, that we have the golden thread audit trail already there as well. So the golden thread audit trail is in essence built off blockchain technology. And what that means is all the information is stored in a mutable ledger, which is built off blockchain technology. In essence, everything that happens within your golden thread is tracked and it's stored, and it can go back to any point in time. It's immutable in the sense that nobody can switch it off. That's happening all the time, and it's safe and it's secure. So you, as the building owner, have always got access to your golden thread audit trail. We've also got the gateway management as well for projects that are going through the design and the construction process. So the ability for the building safety regulator to be able to check information as it's been provided at the individual gateway stages. So as you can see, Operance is really developing into this ever-evolving solution to the golden thread and the Building Safety Act. There's lots more to come, so stay tuned and we'll keep you informed of any more updates as we go along. In the meantime, if you'd like to know more and go through what we've just seen in a bit more detail, then contact our team. I'll be more than happy to book in a one-to-one demo with you to talk through it in more detail. Thanks very much. You take care.